Hope all of you out there had a fantastic weekend. Coming up on today's Philadelphia Eagles Now, the Birds hiring a new defensive line coach and potentially a defensive backs coach as well. And also, did Jason Kelce hint to his brother Travis Kelce after the Chiefs punched their ticket to Super Bowl 58 that he's not retiring? We're going to talk about that as well. But first, this is why you subscribe to the channel, because here on the show, we cover every single move that the Eagles make, especially during this pivotal offseason. We're about 500 people away from 72,000 subscribers. Let's do it for Trey Thomas. Hit that sub button. With that, let's talk some Birds right now. And today's show is sponsored by 8 Sleep. You can get up to $200 off their new pod cover at 8sleep.com/chatsports. My new running streak is approaching 300 days. I'm about to go to Las Vegas to cover Super Bowl 58. Sleep is at the center. It's the backbone of me feeling good, and it's great for you. And the pod cover allows me to get a good night's sleep. More on that coming up here in just a moment, but for now, that link is available down in the show notes as well as in the comment section of this video. So Nick Sirianni continues to round out his coaching staff and really make a lot of changes on both sides of the ball. Hired Vic Fangio as the new defensive coordinator, Kellen Moore as the new offensive coordinator, and now Philadelphia bringing in and hiring a new defensive line coach. The Eagles are hiring former Seahawks defensive coordinator Clint Hurtt as their new D-line coach. Tom Pelissero of NFL Network breaking the news here on Monday that the Eagles are expected to hire the former Seahawks defensive coordinator after Pete Carroll was let go. His job status up in the air. We're not sure who's going to be the next Seahawks head coach. All signs kind of indicate maybe it's going to be Mike McDonald, Ravens defensive coordinator. Sweeping staff changes continue to be made under Nick Sirianni, Pelissero added, who also is expected to hire one of Hurt's assistants in Seattle, Carl Scott, to coach DBs. And over the last couple of years, Seattle has really developed a couple of really good defensive backs on that roster, so I'm kind of excited about that. As for some more background on Hurtt, Seahawks defensive coordinator the last 2 years. That defense was really up and down, although they got a little bit better the last 2 years after they were really going downhill under Pete Carroll, who a lot of fans and the organization were frustrated with because Pete Carroll is a defensive mind. Clint Hurtt did coach defensive line in college from 2005 to 2013, Seahawks defensive line and assistant head coach from 2017 to 2021. And I know that Pete Carroll's defenses did struggle, but he does have a history of hiring some pretty good defensive minds. Dan Quinn, Gus Bradley, now Clint Hurtt. Seahawks in 2023, they were 24th in points per game. They were 30th in yards per game, 24th in yards per play, 22nd in opposing passing yards per game, opposing rushing yards per game. They couldn't stop the run. 31st, third down rate, second to last in the NFL, red zone percentage 24th, sack percentage, not awful, middle of the pack in the NFL at number 13, but here's the deal, right? You're not asking Clint Hurtt to be the defensive coordinator. You were asking him to coach up this defensive line, and that's his specialty. As you can see with some of the pictures floating around on social media, he's a massive dude, and the Eagles have some young talent to develop, and they could be losing some key guys as well. We'll see what happens with Fletcher Cox as well as Brandon Graham. This defensive drop-off for Philadelphia, though, extremely problematic from 2022 to 2023. Last year under Jonathan Gannon, number 1 in sacks, tackles for loss, number 2 in quarterback hits, number 3 in interceptions, number 8 in points allowed in totality. And then in 2023, Eagles defense really just falls off a cliff here. I mean, they're 20th in sacks, bad scheme, a big reason for that. 27th in tackles for loss, so not nearly as active in being aggressive or making plays behind the line of scrimmage. 15th in quarterback hits. They simply did not get to the quarterback enough or consistently. 25th in interceptions. So not only were they awful, and not only did the offense turn the ball over a lot, they weren't forcing a lot of takeaways. And then points allowed goes from 344 to 428 as this Eagles defense could not stop a nosebleed. My take here, I think it's important for Hurtt to continue to develop some of the young players along this defensive line, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Milton Williams, bring the best out of guys like Hassan Reddick as well as Josh Sweat, and get improvement from another young guy in Nolan Smith. And I think that Vic Fangio's scheme is going to allow some of these players to thrive and flourish, and hopefully Hurt able to bring the best out of those aforementioned players. So with that, we ask you this: do you like the hiring of Clint Hurtt? We went through the resume, L for like, D for dislike. Let me know what you're thinking down in the comment section right now. Coming up next year on the show, did Jason Kelce hint that he's coming back for one more year with the Philadelphia Eagles to continue what is already a Hall of Fame career? We'll get to that here in just a moment, but as I mentioned off the rip, today's Philadelphia Eagles now is sponsored by 8Sleep. Head to 8sleep.com/chatsports. You can see for yourself. Sleep to power a whole new you. 8Sleep, the high-tech solution to your age-old sleeping issues. Their Pod 3 cover slips right over your mattress, bringing heating and cooling tech that keeps you comfortable and sleeping deeper for a better, more restful night. Go to 8sleep.com/chatsports. Get $200 off plus free shipping on the pod cover by 8Sleep, and start the new year right and invest in the rest that you deserve with the 8Sleep pod. The pod cover will improve your sleep by automatically adjusting your bed's temperature based on your individual needs. The cover can be added to any bed just like a fitted sheet, and it allows you and your partner to cool or warm your side of the bed as low as 55 degrees and up to 110 degrees. No better way to improve your day-to-day life better than sleep. And the easiest way to do that, 8Sleep's Pod 3 cover, you can control the heating or the cooling right from the power of your own phone, as you can see with the images that we're showing you. So one more time, 8sleep.com/chatsports, $200 off plus free shipping on the pod cover by 8Sleep. Start the new year off right with 8Sleep and get the rest that you deserve. The intelligent sleep system. Link is available down for you in the comment section and in the description of this video. To round out the show, let's talk some Jason Kelce here. Did he hint to Travis Kelce after the Chiefs won the AFC Championship game as Lamar Jackson choked again that maybe he's going to come back? Here's what Jason Kelce had to say about his future. I really look forward to next year. I look forward to proving people wrong, especially with some of the recent hires and Nick Sirianni. I don't know what's going to happen for me, but I do know I still want to be involved in the organization. I think it's a good move for Philadelphia that they have this at their disposal, that they can use him as kind of a consultant. I don't think he's going to be on the coaching staff, but maybe an ear and a voice for the front office. But I think what he said on the New Heights podcast after the season came to an end, that I can't make a decision after an emotional season like that, and then he hints to Travis Kelce, he hints with something like that, I think it sounds like a guy who might want to play and give it one more crack at it. I think he knows that this Eagles team still has an opportunity to make it to the Super Bowl. They're 8th in Super Bowl odds right now, and he knows that this team could still be very good. And if he does come back, I do still think that Jason Kelce could play at a high level. I mean, shoot, in 2023, he was still a first-team All-Pro in this league, and on 1,108 snaps, he gave up just one sack. He gave up just one hit on quarterback Jalen Hurts. He only surrendered 12 pressures, and his Pro Football Focus grades were great. Overall grade of 80.7, a pass blocking grade of 72.6, run blocking grade of 86.2. He had 6 penalties, and look, if he calls it a career or not, what a career for Jason Kelce. 13 seasons with the Eagles. Just a great citizen off the field, a great team leader on and off the field, a backbone and a foundational piece of this Eagles organization, who was a 6th-round pick in 2011, helped bring the only Lombardi trophy that this Eagles organization has ever won, 7-time Pro Bowler in those 13 years, and in those 13 campaigns, a 6-time first-team All-Pro. And his durability, I think, is somewhat underrated. You know, you talk about him shotgunning beers. He's shirtless with Bill's Mafia, taking down some beers, taking a shot out of a bowling ball at the OD&C aisle. Great player. But to be a great player, I think what's underrated, a player's durability. LeBron James, durable. The fact that he came into the league in 2003, did LeBron, and he's still playing like this in 2023 is crazy. And durability, I think, helps a player make their case for being great. 193 starts for Jason Kelce. He broke the record for the most consecutive starts in franchise history. Only 2 seasons he did not play every single game at a really physical position, which takes a toll on you. And if he does return, you can run out Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson, Jason Kelce, Cam Jurgens, and Lane Johnson in 2024. That is still a very, very good offensive line. And with the new offensive coordinator, I think some of the offensive struggles, they're going to get figured out. Now, if Kelce does retire on the other side of that, he was a part of the movement and the strategy and the choice to draft Cam Jurgens. He helped Howie Roseman scout centers, and he said, I really like this Cam Jurgens kid out of Nebraska. Now, Jurgens played right guard. He can slide to center, and then Tyler Steen, who you drafted out of Alabama, who used to play at Vanderbilt, had always played left tackle, can then pop in at right guard, and that can be one of the young players that Jeff Stoutland, best offensive line coach in the NFL, is able to develop in 2024. So will Jason Kelce play for the Eagles next year? It's a big mystery here. Wouldn't surprise me if he does come back. Not going to surprise me if he retires. Either way, an all-time great Philadelphia athlete, all-time great Eagle, who I think deserves a statue, his number retired, and an Eagles Hall of Famer and a Pro Football Hall of Famer. Type Y for yes, type N for no. Thanks for watching. Share your thoughts with us, and don't forget to subscribe.